Welcome to this presentation on the Efflux Cloud Capture solution. My name is Brian Young and I'm the Head of Global Business Development. This presentation will take you through a preview of the product, what it will offer, and how it looks from a user perspective. Please note that some of the images and processes you will see in this presentation may change slightly before the official launch of the product. So, to begin, we're going to discuss what is cloud capture. Efflux Solutions has developed a hosted software as a service model. This allows you to buy licenses for a company and users to use the services in the cloud. All of the workflows are customizable. So we don't have a one-size-fits-all configuration. You can create the workflows, the templates and the processes to fit the needs of the business. Everything is web-based, so accessed via a web browser from anywhere. We have an advanced feature set for workflows, document processing and document output. Flexible pricing options are to be announced. We will send out communications nearer to launch. This product is in continuous development. This means that we have a feature set when we launch the product and an aggressive roadmap with lots of new and exciting features coming soon. Efflux Cloud Capture also includes our new image and OCR engine, created by our developers in-house from the ground up. This will also power some of our other products. As this product is to be sold through a reseller channel and through some of our partners and dealers, there will also be the option to white label the product. So any customers that are bought onto the system will see a company logo for the person or company selling the product. So how does this look? From the user experience, the user will enter the system using a username and a password. This will be configured by an administrator for the company. The language of the interface can be selected here. Once in the system, you'll be presented by a dashboard. As mentioned previously, some of these images are subject to change before launch. You'll be able to see your jobs where you can download them, and down the bottom here we have the ability to upload documents to be processed. This can be done by browsing your local computer to upload documents to Cloud Capture. This can also be done by dragging and dropping documents into the web page here. In a similar way, at launch we will also have an embedded application for the Kyocera range of multifunction devices. This will expand over time for other manufacturers. Once the jobs have been brought into the system, we can select a template or workflow that we want to work with. This also shows us the questions or metadata that we need to enter if it is applicable. As this is a dashboard, there is a lot of information here, so this window can be extended for ease of viewing. Once we have entered the questions, we can then hit the process button. This will start the workflow that we have chosen. Once we have done that, it is worth noting on the left-hand side here that we have three options under processes. This allows you to see the status and progress of the jobs uploaded to Cloud Capture. In the first instance, we can see the jobs that are currently being processed. The second option is to show you the jobs that have been processed and allow you to select and download the jobs that you require. And finally, we have any errors that have happened. With any Cloud Capture solution, the idea is that you drop your documents into the solution, you go away and you come back and retrieve them later, or you let them go on to another system. If there are problems, it's good to know where the problems are and then find a way of rectifying those problems. In order to create the templates and the questions mentioned in the previous segment, this is how we create templates. Templates are essentially workflows and processes that we put documents through. And here are some existing templates, and here we can either create a new template or import templates that we have previously used. Once we have decided to create a template, here are the options that are available to us. In the first instance, we can create what we call a template card. So there are various things here, such as the template name, a description, the colour, an icon, users, template types, and here we can start entering any questions that we want to ask when the documents are uploaded. And this is how it looks when it is complete. The questions can be fully customised, either typed or selected from what we call a pick list. And you can have multiple questions with multiple answers. All of these use metadata, which is variable data that changes from workflow to workflow. Once we've asked the questions, here are some processing features that are built into the first version of Efflux Cloud Capture. Firstly, we can choose our OCR language. At launch, we currently support 44 languages. These languages are trained using AI and machine learning. So this OCR engine, an image engine that we have built, is extremely accurate. Once we've chosen our language, we can also select an output type, such as Word, Excel, PDF, searchable PDF. If we choose a PDF option, we also have options here for the PDF type. When we have made our selections here, we've now got other options to do with processing the document. The first one is barcode detection. And here we can choose the barcode options, either automatically selecting a barcode, or if we know the type of barcode, we can enter it here. Where the barcodes exist, as in page numbers, the metadata that the barcode will populate, and whether we split or exclude pages that have the barcode on them. And we can do this for multiple barcodes on the same page. Another option we have is zone detection. Here we can upload a preview document. On the preview document, we can then create our zones, whether they are barcode zones or OCR zones. We also support magnetic ink character recognition and OMR, optical mark recognition. Once the zones have been defined, they can be customised in this area here. Metadata that represents the zone can also be entered here. And as you can see, we have barcode, OCR, MICR, magnetic ink characters, and OMR. And again, multiple zones can be selected on the same document. In addition to be able to read barcodes, both on the whole page or within zones, we also have the ability within Cloud Capture to write barcodes. Writing barcodes is as straightforward here as putting an annotation onto the document with barcode data. These barcodes can be 2D, QR codes, or one-dimensional codes as well. This is a key feature of Efflux Cloud Capture, document redaction. In document redaction, we have two options: the ability to mask a word or highlight a word. In the first section, we're going to look at the ability to mask or highlight words. These words are static words. So these are words such as an address or a social security number that we know the actual number of. Or we can take this from processing. So a barcode value could be used, and when the barcode value is seen, it will then mask that word. But it is based on actual words. We can also have default words that are built into the system and answers to questions. Here, we can also use the same process to highlight words. So if we know the words we're looking for or the data we are looking to extract, we can highlight that and choose a colour to highlight it. In many organisations, you may want to redact a social security number but highlight a patient record number or a person's name. That can be done using keyword highlight. But we take that one step further with Cloud Capture. We can also do masking and highlighting using regular expressions. Regular expressions are ways of matching strings of digits or numbers. For example, we could match a credit card number, not by the number, but by the format. So 4 digits, a hyphen, 4 digits, a hyphen, etc. When we see that string of information, we can redact that. So if we know a social security number has a certain format, we can use regular expression masking or highlighting to either redact or highlight that text. And we have also included a quick reference guide and sample regular expressions to make this process easier. Here, we also have the option to do some image processing. Some of the headings will change when the product is launched, but it gives you an idea that we can automatically orientate documents, deskew, remove empty pages or blank pages, and remove hole punches. So this is really good when you upload documents and you want to move them on and be able to clean them up and do some sort of processing on existing digital documents. And finally, on our feature list for our first launch product, we have the ability to create a PDF password. So when any document comes through the system, we can give it a password if required. And as before, we can either use default words and answers from questions, or something that comes from processing the document, whether that is a barcode or a zone. And the password can be created here. So at launch, these are the options available in Cloud Capture: barcode recognition, zone detection, barcode writing, document redaction and highlighting, image processing features, and document passwords. Now we look at our output options. Having already seen how we can upload documents into Cloud Capture, the processing options and template creation, and now we look at the output. Documents can be output to a number of locations, and these are done by connections. Here you can see that the document can be output to different places at the same time. For each connection, we can then define a destination, and for each destination we can add a file name if required. Again, the file name can be static or using variable or metadata that we have recovered from the document or answers to questions. To expand this further, we can also set conditions so that we can execute a connector or a storage location based on certain conditions from data on a document. For example, if we scan an invoice and the company name is from ScannerVision and the invoice value is below €500 or dollars or pounds, put it into this connector. If it doesn't meet these conditions, it then looks at the next one and looks if it then meets those conditions. So you can route the documents to various connectors based on conditions. Once the output has been configured, the new template is added and complete. We can import templates, we can copy templates, delete them, activate or deactivate them, or set them as favourites. As mentioned in the previous section, in order to output the documents, we need to create connections to those output sources. Some of these are subject to change. So here, for example, we can create a new connection. We give it a name and a description, but we can also then define what it is, whether it is from the Kyocera Cloud Information Manager product or something like SharePoint or OneDrive. The authentication information can be entered here. And again, this is subject to change depending on the connection we are connecting to. And then we can choose the users that have access to this connection. Once configured, these can then be changed with a destination or a file name, but used anywhere within the system. So for any template or any workflow, you can call this specific connection, or if you had multiple connections to the same type of product, we can call those up one at a time without having to enter in new credentials. Once we create the connection, it then lives in a connections list like this. And in the same way, these can be copied, deleted, activated, deactivated, or set as a favourite. Then we move on to pick lists. When we ask questions designed to give answers as data that we can use, sometimes we like to pick from a list of choices. This can be done here by picking from a list. These lists can either be created manually or can be uploaded from a CSV file, for example. Once these files have been uploaded, they can then be added to the list for further use. And again, once a pick list is created, it can be used system-wide through Cloud Capture for any of the templates or workflows that you have access to. In this section, we're going to look at the customer portal. This is where users are created and managed for each customer. Each customer will have their own subdomain. Within that subdomain, they will be able to enter new users. These can be invited, passwords can be reset, and they can be activated or deactivated as they need to. And finally, our developers have worked hard to present a dark mode. Thank you for watching this video. It's clear that we have developed a really good product for launch, but we're not stopping there. We already have a roadmap with features such as forms recognition and PDF digital signatures, amongst other things. As mentioned previously, the pricing will be announced to you soon, as well as any new features, launch dates and further information. To make contact with us and ask any questions, the details will be shown shortly.